Cambodia is a relatively small country in mainland Southeast Asia, but its story is far larger than its borders suggest. Officially known as the Kingdom of Cambodia, it sits between Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, and the Gulf of Thailand. Today it is home to around 17 million people, most of them ethnically Khmer, with Phnom Penh as the capital and largest city. But Cambodia is not just a place on a map. It is a country shaped by one of Asia's greatest empires, by French colonial rule, by Cold War violence, by genocide, and by a long struggle to rebuild. To understand Cambodia, we have to look at geography, culture, religion, power, and memory all at once. Geographically, Cambodia is dominated by low-lying plains, rivers, and seasonal water systems. Two features are especially important: the Mekong River and Tunnel Sap, Southeast Asia's largest lake. Tunnel Sap is unusual because its flow changes direction with the seasons, expanding dramatically during the monsoon and shrinking again in the dry months. This cycle has supported fishing, farming, and settlement for centuries. Cambodia's tropical climate, with wet and dry seasons, helps explain why agriculture remains so central to life there. Rice fields, river villages, and floodplains are not just scenery, they are part of the country's economic and cultural foundation. Cambodia's majority population is Khmer, and the Khmer language is the official and most widely spoken language. Khmer identity is deeply tied to the country's history, especially the legacy of the Khmer Empire. Buddhism is the most widely practiced religion today, and Buddhist temples, monks, and rituals are woven into everyday life. But Cambodian religious history is layered. Earlier kingdoms were strongly influenced by Indian culture, including Hinduism, Sanskrit ideas of kingship, and later forms of Buddhism. This blend of local traditions and outside influences helped create a distinctive civilization whose greatest symbol still stands at Angkor. The rise of the Khmer Empire is traditionally dated to 802 AD, when Jayavarman II declared himself king and united competing Khmer princes under the name Kambuja. This was more than a political act. It marked the beginning of a powerful state that would dominate much of mainland Southeast Asia for centuries. The empire built reservoirs, canals, roads, temples, and cities on an enormous scale. Its rulers used religion, architecture, and water management to project authority. At its height, the Khmer Empire was one of the most sophisticated civilizations in the region, connecting political power with spiritual legitimacy and engineering skill. The most famous achievement of the Khmer Empire is Angkor Wat. Built originally as a Hindu temple and later transformed into a Buddhist site, Angkor Wat is one of the largest religious monuments in the world. Its towers, galleries, bas-reliefs, and cosmic design reflect a vision of kingship linked to the divine order of the universe. But Angkor was not just one temple. It was part of a vast urban complex, supported by reservoirs and infrastructure that helped feed and sustain a large population. Today, Angkor Wat appears on Cambodia's national flag, showing how deeply the monument is tied to national identity. By the 15th century, the Khmer Empire began to decline. Historians point to several possible causes, including regional competition, shifting trade routes, environmental stress, and pressure from neighboring powers. As Angkor weakened, Cambodia became more vulnerable to influence from Siam, now Thailand, and Vietnam. Over time, Cambodia's rulers struggled to maintain independence between stronger neighbors. This long period of reduced power shaped Cambodian political history before colonialism ever arrived. The country that had once projected influence across the region increasingly had to defend its own survival in a changing Southeast Asian balance of power. In 1863, Cambodia became a French protectorate. For Cambodian rulers, French protection offered a way to limit pressure from neighboring states. For France, Cambodia became part of a larger colonial project in Indochina, alongside Vietnam and Laos. French rule altered administration, education, infrastructure, and elite politics, while leaving some traditional symbols of monarchy in place. Cambodia was not colonized in exactly the same way as Vietnam, but colonial power still shaped its institutions and economy. French influence also affected how Cambodia's ancient past was studied, preserved, and presented, especially through archaeology and the restoration of Angkor. During World War II, Cambodia experienced Japanese occupation, and after the war, anti-colonial movements across Asia gained momentum. Cambodia declared independence from France in 1953 under King Norodom Sihanouk. Independence created hope, but the region around Cambodia was becoming increasingly unstable. The Cold War and the Vietnam War placed enormous pressure on the country. Cambodia tried at times to remain neutral, but its geography made that difficult. Border areas became linked to wider conflict, and domestic tensions increased. By the 1960s, Cambodia was being pulled into a crisis that would soon become a civil war. In 1970, a coup removed Sihanouk and installed the US-aligned Khmer Republic. This shift intensified Cambodia's involvement in the regional conflict and deepened internal divisions. The communist Khmer Rouge gained strength during this period, presenting themselves as a revolutionary alternative while benefiting from the chaos of war. In 1975, the Khmer Rouge captured Phnom Penh and took control of the country. What followed was one of the darkest chapters of the 20th century. The new regime emptied cities, abolished many institutions, and forced people into extreme rural labor projects in pursuit of a radical ideological vision. From 1975 to 1979, the Khmer Rouge ruled Cambodia and carried out the Cambodian genocide. People were targeted for perceived class background, education, ethnicity, religion, political connections, or simply suspicion. Intellectuals, officials, monks, minorities, and ordinary families were swept into a system of forced labor, starvation, imprisonment, and execution. The regime's brutality devastated Cambodian society, killing a huge share of the population and leaving trauma that continues across generations. The Khmer Rouge was ousted in 1979 during the Cambodian-Vietnamese War, but the end of the regime did not immediately bring peace. Conflict and instability continued for years. A major turning point came with the 1991 Paris Peace Accords. These agreements helped create a pathway away from long-running conflict and brought a United Nations peacekeeping mission to Cambodia. A new constitution was established, and general elections were held in 1993. The country became a constitutional monarchy, restoring the monarchy as a central national institution while also adopting a multi-party political framework. Yet the transition was complicated. Former factions, weak institutions, and unresolved power struggles made post-war politics fragile. In 1997, a coup consolidated power under Prime Minister Hun Sen and the Cambodian People's Party, known as the CPP. Modern Cambodia is officially a constitutional monarchy and, in law, a multi-party state. In practice, however, the CPP has dominated politics for decades, and Cambodia is often described as functioning like a de facto one-party state. This political reality matters because it shapes media freedom, opposition politics, civil society, and public accountability. At the same time, many Cambodians have lived through extraordinary change, from war and isolation to rapid urban development, new roads, factories, schools, and tourism. Phnom Penh has grown quickly, and younger generations are increasingly connected to regional and global economies. Cambodia remains classified by the United Nations as a least developed country, but its economy has changed significantly. Agriculture is still a dominant sector, especially rice production and rural livelihoods. At the same time, textiles, garments, construction, and tourism have driven growth and attracted foreign investment. Angkor Wat and Siem Reap are major tourism centers, while garment factories connect Cambodia to global supply chains. But development has come with serious challenges. Corruption, deforestation, human rights concerns, organized crime, land disputes, and political restrictions all complicate Cambodia's future. The country's story is therefore not only about recovery, but about what kind of recovery is possible. Cambodia is often remembered internationally through two powerful images, the grandeur of Angkor Wat and the horror of the Khmer Rouge. But the country is more than either symbol alone. It is a living society shaped by ancient achievement, colonial disruption, war, survival, and rebuilding. Its rivers and plains still support daily life. Its temples still anchor identity. Its politics and economy continue to evolve under difficult pressures. To understand Cambodia is to see how history can be both a source of pride and a burden, and how a nation can carry deep scars while still imagining a future beyond them. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.